So we're here at the Lebanon Historical Society Visitor Center, Museum and Visitor Center, and they just have a few things set up. Spinning some yarn. And this is the William Beaumont House, I believe, which he was a doctor. I won't get too much, there's a lot of history about him. And here's the surgeon that we saw earlier. And the candle maker. Gentleman over there selling some period replica items. And we've got some militia members milling about over there as well. They were shooting off some muskets earlier. I know some years they do full-on reenactments, but I don't know if they're doing that this year, like battle reenactments. They're doing a little dance over here, looks like.
Many of the wealthy families in New England outfitted privateers from King George's War of the 1680s right up to the War of 1812.
You said these are all kind of replicas of what you might see.
Yes, it would have come off of privateering vessels.
Okay.
A ship's captain could apply either to Congress or to any of the governors, and for a license called a letter of marque and reprisal, which was a license to go after enemy shipping. And in that case, it would have been not only English vessels, but English colonies. Canada, Jamaica, Gibraltar, Bermuda, Bahamas, India. All of those ships could legally be taken, brought back to New England, and sold as you see here. These items would have been Indian jewelry from the Mughal Empire that would have been brought back.
So I've never heard of that term before. I'm assuming you're like independent.
Mughal?
Privateer.
Privateer?
I've never heard of.
Well, privateer was different than a pirate because a pirate didn't have a license, but a privateer did have a license. And that was the one subtle distinction. If you had the license, the letter of marque and reprisal, and your ship was taken by the enemy, that license gave all of those prisoners the legal distinction of prisoners of war. Without that license, they would just be considered pirates, and they could be hanged by any country that captured their vessel.
So they could just end their life.
Yes, so many of the wealthy families in New England, the Brown family from Brown University, they outfitted privateers. John Hancock, who was the president of the Continental Congress, outfitted privateers. Stephen Hopkins, who signed the Declaration of Independence for the Rhode Island delegation, he outfitted privateers in 3 different wars. King George's War in the 1740s, the French and Indian War in the 1750s and 60s, while he was governor of Rhode Island, and then again during the American Revolution.
That's nice. So wealthy.
Yeah.
Families.
Pays off.
Yes, and I can fully attest that it could change your lifestyle being a privateer. My 6th great-grandfather was a privateer on one of Stephen Hopkins' boats, the Reprisal, during the King George's War in the 1740s. And in 2 years, they took enough French vessels where my 26-year-old 6th great-grandfather, as a deckhand on board a ship, quits being a sailor, never goes back to sea, and he buys a farm in Maine. He becomes a landowner by being a privateer for just 2 years.
Nice.
Super wealthy family,
Very nice.
But he ends up doing well for himself.
Yes.
Cool. Thank you.
Oh, you're quite welcome, folks.